Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here to share the absolute sweetest, most stylish sewing tutorial with you. I totally love this bag. It's crafted like from this great map fabric that I found, and I quilted that, and then it has this fabulous masculine waxed canvas. I incorporated the press lock, hence the name press lock purse. And then we're using my new strap technique here with the webbing and the fabric accent. The strap is adjustable. The bag can be worn crossbody. Underneath the flap here is a quilted pocket. And then on the inside there is another pocket. It really is such a fabulous design, and I'm so excited to bring it to you. Before we get started, I have to tell you something though, full disclosure. I am running into a lot of problems with the GoPro and the microphone that are used to make these tutorials. The GoPro overheats in a very short amount of time, and as such just turns off. And you'll notice, especially in the beginning of the tutorial, the microphone is getting some feedback. So I really need to be able to upgrade this equipment. I personally cannot justify the expense because when I started the channel, I bought a brand new computer, I bought the GoPro, got everything I needed. I've been producing the videos for 3 years, most of them completely free. I know many of you have found tremendous value in the content in the channel, and likewise I am so grateful for your support and your enthusiasm, but I don't know how long this equipment's going to last. So what I'm asking is, this is a really fabulous design. If everybody can donate $5 towards the new equipment, then I can continue to bring these tutorials. Now, I understand some of you will not be willing to do that, but those of you that have enjoyed the channel and found value in it, I think $5 is a very small contribution so that we can continue to work together. You can PayPal that money to sewinginspiration@gmail.com, and I will keep everybody updated on how much we've raised. I enjoy working with the GoPro because there's an app and I can see what you all can see on my phone. But if you have other recommendations, if you have other YouTubers that you watch and you happen to know what kind of equipment they use, I'm totally open to your suggestions. But it's getting really frustrating and difficult to work with the equipment I have now. And if you have a husband, there's no way, there's no way I can say, yeah, I need some more money to go buy some equipment, okay? Because the majority of what I do here is completely free, so I really can't justify that expense to him. But I do want to continue to be able to produce the tutorials, so if the camera dies and I have to save up the money on my own, we may have a significant amount of time that passes between the tutorials, and I don't want to see that happen. So please, please, please consider sending $5 so I can replace this equipment before we lose touch, okay? And I'm going to put that information in the notes too. And again, what I'm looking at is just replacing it with a newer GoPro that has the extra battery pack so that the camera will last longer, and then upgrading the microphone as well. So unless you all have other suggestions, and I'd love to hear them if you do. So anyways, thank you for listening. Again, in the beginning of the tutorial, there's a glitchy microphone. Hang in there. It does get better towards the end, and this bag is super sassy. Shall we get started? This is a complete tutorial. I'm going to teach you how to make this bag from start to finish For your convenience, all of the pattern measurements are listed in the notes. You can also head on over to sewspire.com and see a complete roundup of this project as well if you will search press lock bag. So this was the inspiration piece for this project, and this is a crossbody / hip bag crafted from wax canvas, and I carried this for a couple weeks. I really like the size of it and the shape of it. Of course, love the ease of the crossbody strap and that functionality. There were a few things though they wanted to change about it. I decided in the end that just a plain brown bag is a little too boring for my taste. So I wanted to add some color and some fabric and combine that with the durability of the wax canvas because I love that look. I also really like this press lock, which if you're not familiar is, just as the name implies, a closure which allows you to lock it in place and then press to unlock. And you can pick that up at Hobby Lobby, or you can search press lock online. They are not very expensive at all. I got this one half off. Its regular price of $1.99. In addition, you're going to need 1.5 yards of 1-inch cotton strapping, one 1-inch tri-glide, and 2 1-inch D-rings, approximately 1 yard of cotton fabric, and less than 1/8 of a yard of the wax canvas. I will put a link in the notes to my favorite wax canvas supplier. If you don't have wax canvas on hand, any kind of twill or home decor fabric will work just as well. Okay, I have pre-cut all of the pattern pieces. We're going to begin by crafting the interior of this bag, and so to start we'll begin with the interior pocket, which is crafted from 2 pieces of material that measure 8 inches wide by 5 inches tall, and I have taken the 8-inch edges of those and pressed them under 1/2 inch to create a nice finished edge. And then I've taken a 2-inch by 8-inch strip of the wax canvas and folded that in half. And I'm going to position that in between those 2 pocket panels to give a nice rigid lip to that pocket. I'm going to top stitch across that wax canvas lip to secure all of the layers. I have a nice hem there on the top of my pocket. I want to take one of the interior body panels, which measures 8 inches wide by 10 inches tall, and I'm going to position the pocket on that 4 inches up from the base, and that wax canvas edge is the top of the pocket, and then you're going to stitch across that bottom edge to secure that to this interior body panel. And now that pocket has been secured to the interior panel, using the Sewspire T method, I'm going to attach 2 side panels to this pocket panel. Each side panel measures 4 inches by 10 inches. I have reinforced all of the interior panels with Pellon 809. It's an iron-on fusible interfacing. I'm going to take those 2 side panels and position those right sides facing and then stitch down the right and the left hand sides to secure. Now when I'm making bags, I like to use a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance on the interior seams. You can use any seam allowance you like, just be consistent. So now I'll open up that interior panel, and that creates like a tri-fold. I can set that aside for a few moments. I'm going to take the second interior panel and the base of the interior, which is 4 inches by 8 inches. I'm going to position that so that I'm aligning the base of the base with the base of that remaining interior panel. And then I want to stitch across the bottom to secure that. And that's what your base panel looks like. Then you want to bring back over this tri-fold pocket panel, and you're going to position that so that the base of that base panel is aligned with the base of your pocket panel. And you're going to stitch from seam to seam. Okay, now you have something that looks like a giant T, hence the T method. Now you just need to align the sides of the sides with the side of this opposite panel. And you can see your interior really taking shape. So you're going to stitch from the top of that side down to this bottom stitch line, and do that on both sides so that your sides are secured. You can see that Pellon offers a lot of stability to the interior. The only thing that I need to do now is stitch across the base of the side and the side of the base to close up those 2 holes at the bottom. And now the interior is complete. And what I want to do to eliminate some of this bulk at that top seam is trim back that side panel on all 4 edges, just about 2 inches and approximately within 1/8 of an inch of that seam. Just be really careful not to cut through your stitches. And what this will do is allow you to sew that top on, I call it, or attach all the layers across the top without too much trouble. So now take that top edge and fold it over just about 1/2 inch, and this will press really nice for you, also a result of that Pellon. And then when you look inside, you got your little pocket there that should be perfectly sized for my phone. Hopefully it fits your phone too. And a very stable interior. So we're going to set this aside and begin working on the exterior. Now for the exterior, I wanted to add a little more detail and color. So what I decided to do was quilt some cotton panels. This here is the exterior pocket, and it is crafted from 2 pieces of cotton material, which measure 8 by 8, and one of those has been backed with warm and natural quilt batting and then quilted. I'm going to use the same technique with a 2 by 8 inch strip of wax canvas. I'm going to fold that in half, press over those top edges of that pocket. You don't have to worry about the bottom edges for this one. And then I'm going to position that wax canvas trim there and the quilted panel slightly under that so that I have that wax canvas peeping up to add stability and detail to my pocket. And then I'm going to stitch across this twice to add finishing detail to this pocket panel. I have a really gorgeous exterior pocket. It's quilted. It has that wax canvas accent. Now I want to take one of my quilted exterior body panels, which is also cotton fabric with the quilt batting, 8 by 8, and I want to position this pocket on top of that, and I'm going to come down 2 inches from that top. And I think here you can see how these globes are the same. I don't necessarily like that look, so I have another 8-inch panel that is for the back of this, and that looks much better. So if you're working with a pattern, you have that option to decide which panel you would like, and this looks much better. So again, same thing, 8 by 8 inch panel, the pocket coming down 2 inches from the top. Yes, there is some overhang on the other side, and that is perfectly okay because we're going to take a 3-inch by 8-inch piece of the wax canvas, also with some quilt batting on the reverse side but not quilted, and we're going to position that on top of that panel, and you want that to align with the under side, that 8 by 8 quilted panel. Okay, so we want this extra in here so that pocket is really secure. Once you position that accent panel on top of your quilted pocket, obviously you have some overhang. Please don't worry about that and just let that remain intact. Now you're going to stitch across that base of that accent panel to attach it to this body panel. Okay, and now you should have a body panel that is 10 inches tall by 8 inches wide. And what you want to do now is stitch that accent panel down with 1 row of stitching. I have a gorgeous pocket panel there. Going to set that aside for a few minutes. Take the remaining 8 by 8 quilted panel, your remaining 3-inch by 8-inch accent panel. This one doesn't have a pocket, so all you have to do is align that accent panel with the base and stitch across there. And then same thing, open that up and then stitch that under seam down with a row of accent stitching across that wax canvas. Okay, now I have 2 really stunning exterior panels. I love this gorgeous blue with the brown of this wax canvas. I love this quilting. It's like masculine and feminine all in one bag. Okay, so we're going to take our side panels, which are also quilted, and use the exact same technique, that T method that we used to construct the interior. So working with this pocket panel, I'm going to position those side panels right sides down. and stitch down either side. I'm going to go ahead and prepare that second panel now so I can stitch that all at the same time. So that base is 4 by 8. It's wax canvas with some quilt batting on the back. I'm going to align that with the base of the rear panel and stitch across that to secure. I absolutely love this look. Okay, so continuing the process, you have your trifold panel, your base panel. You're going to center that base panel, aligning the base of the base with the base of that pocket panel and stitching from seam to seam to create that big T. And now we have the T panel there, and we want to take the sides and align it with the sides. Pin that in place and stitch down both sides to secure. And then you'll remember you have to align the base of the side with the side of the base to close up those 2 holes at the bottom. So I'm going to stitch all of that while I'm at the machine, first the sides and then the base. Gorgeous exterior. I am so thrilled with this. It has so much body and stability as a result of that quilting and the wax canvas. Now you want to do the same thing to these interior seams. You want to go ahead and trim that back within 1/8 of an inch from that stitch line, and we just are reducing all that bulk because we're going to fold this all over. Plus we're going to have the flap. We're talking about a lot of material that needs to move through the machine. So anything we can do to make that easier, we should. And then this top edge gets folded inward 1/2 an inch. The batting does not offer you that nice crispness that the Pellon does, so you will have to pin this top hem over to hold that. All right, our exterior is done, and now we are going to craft the flap. And that flap is made from 1 piece of wax canvas and 1 piece of cotton fabric that are, both pieces are 8 inches wide by 10 inches tall. And you can just position those right sides facing. You're going to stitch down the side, across the base, and up the other side. Leave that top open so we can turn that. Okay, I've stitched around all 3 sides. I want to turn that right side out and poke out those corners. And then press that nice and flat. This little stick that comes with the polyfill is very useful for poking out those corners. Okay, now you can go ahead and top stitch around that edge. And we have a flap here with wax canvas and the gorgeous matte fabric on the back. Now we want to attach the press lock to this flap and to the bag. So the actual press portion of the lock will get attached to the flap, and that has these little prongs that you'll open up on the back and just slide that out. You don't want to lose this piece, so keep an eye on it. Looks like that. It's like a brad, but for a press lock. All right, and then you're going to open that up using your fingers and sandwich that fabric in between there. And for this reason, I did not use any batting or interfacing on this flap because that will just make it too thick. So I need to know where center is because I want my lock centered. And this looks really good to me. And I'm just going to press that up nice and tidy there. Where those brads would go in, and use a seam ripper to cut 2 very small holes in that material. Okay, so I'm going to position that press lock portion back on top of the flap, centered upon those little holes that I made. And now this brad slash fastener should slide in there pretty easy, and it did. And then you just press that underside down, and that secures the top portion of the lock to the flap, which is fabulous. And now we need to secure the bottom portion of the lock to that exterior pocket. And so this has a similar brad with much sharper prongs, which probably will poke through the fabric. Looks like that. And then it has this little top plate there. And so this locks in place with that. You see how that little buckle there is shorter or closer to the top versus the bottom? So you want that short end towards the top because then the lock will function properly. So this, I'm guessing, is going to poke right through this cotton fabric, no problem, because it is very sharp. So all I have to do is identify center on my pocket, which I have there, and then just poke that right through, and it did. It just went completely through that fabric, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so now I have my lock on there. Okay, so now I have my base plate on there, and I want to put this little locking plate on top of that and then fold those brads down to secure that. And we could do a little test fit here. And that works very nicely. And then that's what the front of the bag will look like. And then the contents of that pocket are nice and secure. Okay, so I want to insert the interior so that that pocket is towards the back of the bag. And just where I get this fit, I'm going to take that flap off of there. And I always like to start on the sides by aligning those side seams first, and then working my way around and securing the interior and the exterior with those pins. This bag has a lot of stability. With the quilt batting and that Pellon, it will definitely stand alone. It is a heavy duty bag. Okay, so I have the top secured. Now I just want to reach in there and push that interior out. That Pellon creates, you know, like a moldy, crisp, not moldy, moldy as in it molds, not like moldy ooey, where that interior will just mold to the exterior, as in take the shape of. Okay, super duper duper cute. A very sassy little bag. All right, what we're going to do is take 2 D-rings. These are 1-inch D-rings, and 2 4.5-inch, 1-inch wide strips of strap webbing there. I chose a nice taupe to match. We're going to fold that in half and tuck those tabs in between with the raw edges, in between the interior and the exterior layers, like that. And that's what we'll be able to attach the strap to. But we're going to go ahead and finish the exterior of this bag before we make the strap. So I want those tabs in place. And then I want to take this flap and I want to go ahead and lock that buckle in place so that I can determine how much to tuck that flap into the back of this bag. And that raw edge of the flap is being tucked in between the 2 layers again. You want to leave enough wiggle room there that you know you can fill up the bag and still have that depth, the same depth that's on the base across the top. So let that flap come up a little bit there. It doesn't have to be nice and snug. And then go ahead and secure the flap and the interior and the exterior layers with pins. It's easiest to do this on the edges first and then unlock that flap and come in and make sure everything is straight. And you could put another pin in the center there. You want your flap to be even, and this looks good. I can't tell you how much I like this. This color combo is brilliant. All right, now all that's left to do with the actual bag portion is to put this up on the machine deck and just stitch all the way around to secure all the layers. Go nice and slow. You're going to want to reinforce at these tabs, and then we will craft the strap. Okay, I made it all the way around. This bag is insane cute. I absolutely love it. All right, now what we have to do is craft that strap, and it is also super sassy. We're using a new technique for the straps. This offers a lot of stability and suits this wax canvas beautifully. So here I have a 44-inch cut of the 1-inch cotton webbing. And then I have a like size length of cotton fabric, 3 inches wide. Now the fabric is folded like I do the traditional strap, in half, press, open that, bring those edges in to meet on that center press line, and fold that over to create this wonderful long strip. Choose the side that you like best and center that on that webbing, and then go ahead and stitch down both sides to secure that to the webbing. Okay, I've got that fabric accent attached to that webbing. It totally takes this to the next level, because if you just had fabric, not very sturdy, and if you just had the webbing, kind of homemade-ish. This is a pro, completely stylish strap. All right, so to create an adjustable strap, you're going to use the 1-inch tri-glide or 1-inch buckle. I also got this at the Hobby Lobby. And you're going to take that webbing and slide that under and up so that you get that tri-glide in the center, okay? And then pull that through about 4 inches, fold that over an inch, fold that over again, and then you're going to stitch twice through these layers. Okay, I have that buckle attached to that center slide portion, all right? And I used 2 rows of stitching. Okay, with your bag facing you and the flap being the front, take this strap with the wrong side facing up and that raw edge and feed it through that left hand D-ring. Pull that through, and then take the end with the buckle and that raw edge and feed it through that top portion of the buckle, and then bring that raw edge over and through the bottom portion of the buckle. And then you're going to pull that fabric through there. Take that raw edge and wrap it under that remaining D-ring on the right hand side. Fold that over, and then go ahead and stitch that twice to secure that to the bag. And the bag is complete. This really is so totally adorable, and it completely stands on its own. I hope you enjoyed the project. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, I desperately need to upgrade my camera and microphone. The camera is going to die very soon. It overheats in a very short amount of time, and as such it takes me a really long time to make these videos for you. And the microphone is glitchy, but I really want to be able to keep producing these videos, but I want to be able to do it in a timely fashion and at a high quality. So please consider donating $5 today so that I can upgrade this equipment. I've been making videos for you all for 3 years in October, so I've produced a lot of content. If you found value in that content at all, I hope that you can contribute the $5. If not, I completely understand. I will keep producing the content for as long as this equipment lasts, but I am very hopeful that everyone will come together. It is a small amount of money, and then I can get the equipment that I need to continue to produce the videos. So until we meet again, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful week, everyone.